In this video, we take a look at the blind hem. Stay with me and I'll show you how. The blind hem, sometimes called an invisible hem, works by lightly catching the fabric on the front. In a demonstration, I use a different colour thread so you can actually see it. But when you match the thread to the fabric, it does actually make an invisible hem. These are the stitches from the front side and from the back side. This is a blind hem stitch where it's mostly straight, but about every ½ inch it makes a zigzag which catches the fabric and holds the hem in place. You will most often see this used on curtains or on the hems of skirts, dresses and trousers. So let's get started. First we decide how wide we want our hem. For a blind hem, for a garment, the hem is usually 1 to 1½ inches. For curtains, the hem is usually 1½ to 3 inches. On my sample here, I have a hem of 1 inch, and I add to that an extra ½ inch to turn up underneath. So we go to the ironing board and turn up and press that ½ inch. And when that's done, turn up 1 inch for the hem, and we press that down. Next we place the fabric wrong side down and we fold it back so that there's about 1/4 inch showing of that ½ inch turn up. If you want to, you can press that down to hold it in place, or you can hold it in place with pins. I'm just going to hold it as it is. We set our stitch dial to the blind hem stitch and we choose a stitch width of between 1 and 2. It's important to go slowly and find a reference point. I find the perfect place to hold the fabric is to keep the edge of the hem that sits on top of the turn up in the centre of the presser foot. You'll find on your presser foot there'll be a slit or a notch, something you can use as a guide. Keep that notch in line with the edge of the hem all the way along. Again, if you go slowly, you'll find it easier to be more accurate. It's important to do a couple of tests first to make sure you have the right width. If your stitch width is too short, these zigzags won't properly catch the fabric and you will find these gaps in your hem. If your stitch width is too wide, too much of the fabric will be caught and it will cause puckering on the outside. With some practice, we can catch the right amount of fabric and get a nice smooth finish on the outside. As always, we finish our hem by giving it a press. And that's how to sew a blind hem.